Welcome finally back to the caster desk for the final time at DreamHack here. The Masters finals are upon us, and do we have two amazing teams to bring you today?
Panthera, the reigning world champions, the European, just the strongest team in the region. It's uncontested here. And the North American hopefuls, Soar, they fought, they battled, taking out their arch nemesis over a North American enemy yesterday, and all 5 games went to the wire.
Well, today there is a best of 5 in the finals as well between these two teams. And on paper, when you look at the matchups between them, it could be very spicy in every single one of these roles. But when you look at it overall, Panthera, they should have the edge. They're still undefeated in a competition whatsoever since Super Regionals.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give the edge to Panthera. There's nothing to say otherwise right now. Let's talk about their lineup a little bit. In the solo lane, you do have Dimi, the Undying, last year's best player in the world, MVP, adapting. Middle lane, Yammyn. And then the support and captain, iRaffer, and his hunter, it's emiltoo.
And finally, obviously, across the way, we will see Soar. And Soar, those boys, well, they've done very well to get their way all the way to the finals here. And what more can we say? But the solo laner, Baskin, is one of the biggest names on that stage, followed by Homiefe in the jungle, who's having a fantastic tournament so far. To the mid lane is Hurriwind, who's credited as being a very, very solid player himself, and he's quite confident there by the looks of it, followed up by Jigz, the support player from North America as well. Last but not least is Metyankey. He's not scared of a fight, and I guarantee you he's going to get one today when he takes on Panthera.
I think emiltoo and Metyankey, we've actually seen a lot of hunters force 1v1s in this tournament. And these two players, Metyankey and emiltoo, they're players that were doing it when most other players were playing safe. We could see some spice here. And honestly, I do think that the game pace will probably be controlled by the junglers. We saw Wukong come up from both Homiefe and adapting.
And not only Wukong, but Thor is also a big hit for both these two these two junglers.
Honestly, they're gods. Honestly, they have been gods. Adapting has been phenomenal this tournament. During the regular split, we kind of saw a little bit of a drop-off in his skill, but I think that's more the whole of Panthera kind of rose up to that kind of level. And then Homiefe comes out, a little bit worried, maybe some land nerves here. And there was, I think, maybe in game 1, but ever since then, I mean, he's put Soar on his back.
Now, first thing to say is land meta always begins at the start of the event, and towards the end, you start to see the shifts that have happened. Because of this, Soar already respecting the Guan Yu from Dimi, going to take that one away from him. And in response, Panthera, they're going to take the Nemesis away from Homiefe.
And I like this too. Wukong banned out. Soar don't want to first pick it. However, they feel that Panthera will nab it in that situation if it's left open. So Panthera...
Thor ban.
I was thinking about that too. I don't know if they want to do that though. It could be a Bacchus also, or a Sobek. We have seen Soar willing to first pick that.
We have seen Sobek willing to first pick it, but it will be a Zeus actually. They don't want to give Hurriwind that good instead, although not played it too much so far this tournament. We've seen a lot of Scylla out of him and Raijin mainly.
You know, it might actually be a bait onto the Scylla because his Scylla ultimates were a little bit off the mark yesterday. I'm not exactly sure what that was. I think he had a little bit trouble getting the setups needed, maybe a bit of miscommunication, but there's the Thor first pick. Not a surprise.
Really not surprised to see that go through, and I think Panthera know that as well. With those picks and bans scheduled, they know Homiefe needs to go off this game. We said it, a lot of fans at home and some of the pro players who didn't make it to the finals are also saying it's important for Homiefe this game to get off to a good start, but it's not going to be easy for him as he's against adapting.
Oh, and Raijin stripped away from Hurriwind. This is a god that Yammyn has played, but it's not been that much. I think this is Panthera taking away Soar's comfort picks. They are a team that can play, honestly, the full depth of the gods in Smite, and Raijin, I mean, Yammyn's going to be able to play it.
But not only that, that's going to pigeonhole Soar potentially into picking Scylla for Hurriwind here. And we saw Hurriwind on Scylla yesterday. A couple of odd games where he didn't get very comfortable. His game 1 as well, especially his himself. He really struggled with the god to find his abilities and find that damage that he so desperately needs.
No, you're right. This is 100% a Scylla bait. They want to put him in a position where he's on a god that he wasn't super successful with. And I even talked to Hurriwind and the team of Soar. They knew that, and that might honestly just get to his head if he goes back onto the Scylla, but instead it looks like he's going to be highlighting Janus here. Something to note also, Panthera taking that Bacchus away from Jigz. We saw him play Sobek and Bacchus yesterday, but I have to give full credit. I think his Bacchus was much better.
But the Sobek as well, he did get picked a couple of times because of the Nemesis more often than not in that game against enemy, but now he's only going to have to face off against the Bacchus. There's no jungle Nemesis available as well, but Panthera seem to be planning this well. By the looks of it, I think they're more comfortable, even though Soar are quite happy there going, hey, we got pretty much what we wanted in this game, Panthera seems to have a deep game plan here.
Susano highlighted and locked in for adapting. We haven't really seen Susano too much this tournament. Early on, it was banned, and then we saw it in Soar versus Enemy, where it was finally left open. Neither team wanted to pick it up.
But look at the win rate as well. Only picked up 12% in the whole tournament here. 0% win ratio, and coming into this, everyone expects it to be perma-banned because everyone is worried about facing off with it. And now, adapting is going to play that potentially.
It's going to be an interesting matchup there in the jungle, and probably going to see a trip over to the soul lane for both of them. Homiefe and adapting. We saw what adapting did against Eager. The whole game plan was Camp Divios. They gave him the gods he was comfortable with. He had Osiris, he had Robin, he had all these gods, and honestly, they're just like, it doesn't matter. We pick up the Neith arrow, the Neith ultimate, send it over there, have adapting rotate over. It's basically a 3v1.
I mean, you look at superstars, you're looking for a player on each team that is the superstar there. Baskin is definitely the name that you'll think of first when it comes to Soar. So when you think about how Panthera played against Eager and how they focused Divios, I expect Soar need to expect that we're going to see adapting focus Baskin again.
AMC highlighted. I don't think this is going to go through. This is emiltoo having a little bit of fun. Not going to be locking in for this tournament, especially against a Janus, Sobek, Thor. I mean, that's just such a strong dive comp on any god with no mobility, which is probably one reason why Raijin is going to work out pretty well here. And it is switched over to the Neith. So Panthera going to be playing the almost same strategy they did against Eager. The Neith arrow is going to be used exclusively over into that soul lane. They're just going to try and farm Baskin, and they have allowed Dimi the counter pick as well.
And he's got that counter pick, and now he's back to Soar now for the last two picks with Raven banned out as well. Only really Osiris and Cabrakan I can really think of that we maybe see Baskin going to. Maybe a Bellona just to switch things up a bit. Obviously, they're very focused on early game aggression.
I think Bellona would be a little bit safer. Cupid going to be locked in. We started to see Cupid picked up here. Recently, you could see picked 18% of the times with 2 wins on the board, and it's going to be Vamana. So we did see actually Panthera ban out the Vamana, and that's because he has a CC immune ult. So when the Neith arrow comes, he's going to be able to stand big baby and stay alive. This is a pretty safe pick in the soul lane, and I like that choice from Baskin.
And we saw Baskin's play on that yesterday in negative matchups in the early game, actually managing to find domination there.
Yes.
The Cupid pick, go back to it once more, and we mentioned this when we've seen him during this tournament as well. Very, very good with that Fields of Love, and the cripple fires off very quickly and influences the team massively on the side of Panthera. Raijin, he can't get out of it. Bacchus, same again. Susano, a very mobile god, he's going to be stuck too.
I think the biggest thing here is the Cupid pick into the Susano, because Susano's biggest problem when dealing with him is his mobilities. And you have two ways to deal with that, either a cripple coming out of Cupid or say an Odin ring, something like that. So Metyankey, it's going to be his job to pay attention to adapting in team fights. His Fields of Love cannot be used until adapting is in the back line, until he can pick him up and put him in the middle of that. At the very least, even if he doesn't get the kill, he forces the purification out.
Now, Panthera's lineup here, though, what I do want to say about it is very, very focused on all and in potentially and just finding picks over and over again. Their front line is really remnant just on Bacchus here. They do have the Sun Wukong, but he's more of a disruptor than managing to actually hold the front line for a long time. Yes, he's got the clone, but at the same time, he's just there to harass and abuse the backline, trying to get to the Cupid more than likely, and that Janus if he can find it.
Yeah, I mean, Sun Wukong is simply just going to be spamming his magic cudgel. He's just going to be poking as much as possible, and then when the team fight happens, he's going to go into 72 transformations, he's going to go Ox form and just knock up, and he's just going to be an annoyance, right? It's kind of this bully mentality you have to have in the soul lane where you will find a target you want, and honestly, he could be looking for the Cupid. Normally, it's the mid laners.
My mind is blown right now. You know why? I just realized. They're all in purple.
It's the purple v purple.
Purple wins.
Purple wins.
Guaranteed. And talking about purple wins and guaranteed, well, there could be a first seed curse broken here this weekend as well, because since a very long time.
It is a long
time.
There's been 15 plus Smite lands, and I believe there has been 3 of those where the first seed has won. I mean, that's not an that's pretty crazy.
Number 1 seeds do not win, so they have that advantage that they're not the number 1 seed coming out of North America. They actually came in as number 3
They probably
seed.
threw some games, honestly, near the end of the split. They're just like, yo, let me not be first seed heading into this one. But Panthera looking real good to close out here. They've had a phenomenal tournament so far, haven't dropped a game, only looked shaky in one, honestly, and that was against China, and that was just day 1.
And look at these early wall placements from both teams. They're both worried about invasions early on. Obviously saw in that last game in the set against Enemy yesterday, went down the mid lane and looked to invade and actually found a kill early on at the beginning of that one. So both teams just setting up to make sure they can keep an eye on the rotations early on and find out what buffs do get taken and what don't.
I'm watching this dual lane early as well. You can see the relic choices that have already come out. We actually have a Sanctuary coming out from Hurriwind. So normally you will see the purification. He needs to be a little bit wary. If he gets caught in a CC, which both Yammyn and Adapting have, he could get just chained down.
Now he does have crowd control, you know, obviously purification does remove crowd control, but those crowd controls coming out from Panthera in that mid and jungle, very, very small amounts of time.
They're not hard, yeah.
No, but what it will do is do a lot of burst damage after that follow-up, and that Sanctuary will help him out a little bit more at surviving, potentially. And if anything, Panthera, they need to make sure they check on his actual relic choice when they get into lane.
I think
otherwise,
they will.
They could make a small misplay.
I think they will. I mean, Panthera is generally pretty good about that. Even with buff timings, we've seen them, they didn't pick up their speed because they tried a different start and they immediately go over and invade. Homiefe here, he's going to be starting off at the blue, now over to speed, and he's actually going to split this with Hurriwind. So this is pretty golden XP efficient. You should see them get a little bit of a lead because of this.
They should get a bit of a lead because they've got right harpies and blue buff, and then obviously Baskin gets solo experience, so very important to get your solo ahead early if you can. And now Homiefe and Hurriwind, well, they may be able to get these left-hand harpies as well here.
Oh, this could be trouble though.
Early lead for Soar.
This could be trouble because in the mid you can actually see Panthera. They're going to push the wave and they're going to catch them on the rotation. They need to get out. You can see the aggression on the minimap, but it will be Janus through.
But left-hand side aggression from onto emiltoo, but there's a good belly flop from iRaffer as well on the Bacchus just to slow them down. And Metyankey took a lot of free poke and still getting poked down, but Adapting's now on the way on Susano, and little baby Cupid's going to meet his maker, that's for sure. Into the sky he goes as Adapting gets first blood in the grand finals at DreamHack.
This is going to be trouble for Soar. We saw this same thing over when they faced off against Enemy. Metyankey, while incredible, he likes to 1v1 and he's very good about it. Sometimes he gets a little bit over-aggressive. Not the best map awareness in this tournament, and he got punished for it right there.
Talk about punishing here. Baskin and Dimi going at it, as you'd expect between these two solo leaders. No one could really call which one would win this matchup. Maybe God could influence that, but I expect more than often than not, it'll end up being the junglers.
And this is going to be really rough now because if the solo laners just battle it out, right, Panthera could just ignore them completely. I thought there was going to be fireworks over there, but instead, it was in the left-hand side. We did notice Soar go aggressive. They had the Cupid Sobek. They had the curse as well. It was pop. They were just trying to get a kill, a little bit over-anxious for it, and they paid. Now the question is, what is Adapting going to do with his lead? And knowing him, he's going to push it.
I'll tell you what he will do to begin with. Head back to base, get his boots online a little bit quicker, give him that mobility. And on Susano, well, he's already got a lot of that, but get it online even quicker means he can make rotations very quick up against this Thor that does have that semi-global ultimate.
And you can see already 500 gold ahead from the first blood bounty. And he's just going to be clearing wave 4 now. Buffs are going to be spawning here in a few minutes, and that's probably going to be the next point. I think Adapting's going to be looking to invade with Yammyn. However, there is the double global from Soar, so they're going to be able to get off the map, get around the map anytime they want to.
There is a bit of a problem here for Homiefe, though. Still only level 4 because of the start he did. He got his mid laner ahead, and he got his solo laner ahead, but he put himself at a deficit, especially when Adapting got that first kill. So now he's only just hitting 5 now, and across the way, obviously Adapting, already taken that first trip back to base, has full warrior tabby online, so an extra power boost and an extra mobility boost on his jungle.
This is real bad. Honestly, I don't think Homiefe is going to be able to complete Boots 3 by the time his buff spawn. And if Panthera can keep him just busy and not allow him to back, you can see those Boots 3, that 40 extra power from Warrior Tabi is going to be big.
Now, they're going to invade the red buff here as well, I think. No, sorry, they're going to go and do that red buff at the moment because the way the spawns are at the moment. But Panthera, they should actually know that they started blue buff on the right-hand side of the map, so they could potentially still look to invade the speed a little bit later on if they want to. We'll see where they end up going to, though, because obviously the red buff on the left-hand side of the jungle is available to be cleared out, and you want to get as many people over there, share the experience, make sure you keep it on farm to get maximum gold and experience efficiency.
Panthera paying a lot of respect, honestly, to Soar. Not going to be looking for the invade, even though they had that first blood. They had that, honestly, the 40 power from the boots on Adapting. They had that massive power spike. Not going to take advantage of it. Left-hand side, though, we do have the Harpies started up, and it seems like neither team really wants to be battling it out too much. I think this is in favor of Panthera, though. The reason is, we talked about how Soar was a very early game team. Oh, Met. Little bit of trouble
from Adapting. He's going to have to drop the ultimate there, Metyankey. He's not enough to get the kill with the Typhoon coming out from Susano. Not enough to actually pick up Metyankey. And with those hearts he's got, he'll be able to heal back up.
Did burn his Purification, though. Really well played by Met to escape that gank. Hits the Purification right as the Neith arrow comes through. Drops his ultimate as well, so Susano can't chase him through. And the Typhoon, just not enough damage.
Speed buff now started by Homiefe, and Jigz is here to soak up the experience on that Sobek once more. Sobek definitely one of his strongest gods in his god pool. This tournament's struggled a little bit here and there, but I feel that's more down to the jungle focus he's had on him. But I tell you what, he can peel, he can engage. This is a very good support player, and he's up against iRaffer, who's looking for him, and Jigz well aware of the belly flop.
That was great mechanics from both players of Soar. Jigz, the second he hears the belly flop, completely turns 180, dashes away, and Homiefe, after the belly flop lands, was ready with the stun. So even if Jigz gets knocked up, he's on the wrong side of the wall, and Panthera can't follow up.
Baskin's looking for aggression on Dimi here. Going to try and poke out, but doesn't find the umbrella
He wanted
ring.
the kill.
Obviously with the Bluestone Pendant as well. Dimi won't take long to clear out those creeps at this stage of the game. Jingu Bang as well combined with that will clear him out nice and quick. So at the moment though, Baskin seems to be very comfortable in this matchup against Dimi, having a bit of more of a domination here, level 9 to level 8 as you can see. And then the other lane over in the duo side of things, emiltoo's just having a bit of an easier time up against Metyankey right now.
I mean, it's Neith, right? It's just free wave clear. That was before Golden Bow. Golden Bow now just makes it easier for her. The Spirit Arrow is going to one-shot the wave. Metyankey's just trying to farm in this matchup until he has a little bit more presence, until his Heart Bomb is maxed. It's only rank 4 right now, but it does so much damage, almost, I believe, 180% scaling once you get some physical power online.
3 members of each team in mid lane right now. You see Yammyn running down that mid to pick up the next wave coming in. Just finished off full boots, actually, at the moment. Didn't go for the Doom Orb, which we do see coming out of Hurriwind here. Already at 20 stacks, so trusting in the mobility Janus has to get away, and Homiefe missing that wall there. Takes a bit of free poke from adapting. It's not all to shout home about, but now that this right and Harpies are spawning, Homie's been engaged on. Intoxicate out, has to ult out as well. Very worried. May look to re-engage him, but
Jigz.
as he's low, Jigz on his own, space and time 5, gets the portal away. This is good play from Panthera, but there's Homie to turn it around, and now Soar get their first kill onto iRaffer.
And oh man, that was just very well played from them. The rotation has come from the Hunters, but it doesn't seem like anyone else is going to be caught out here. Oh, actually, Dimi, okay, Dimi's fine. He's got his ult anyway, but honestly, Homiefe, the reaction time there was phenomenal. So we saw iRaffer jump in, but the problem was that his team wasn't in position to follow up. If Yammyn is there, he's going to be able to hit his Taiku drums, and he's going to be able to taunt Homiefe, guaranteed death, but instead he took so much return poke, and really well played by Soar to make sure to reinitiate and find him weakened.
Well, Dimi might have the opportunity might be available for Soar to invade the blue buff here. So we see a fight over the dual lane. emiltoo's in trouble. He's on Neith too. Has to backflip away from the Heart Bomb. That was a stun there, but eventually it wasn't a kill. But this blue buff is stolen by Soar. Now Homiefe, body blocked to death, purifies to get away from the stun, but Dimi's going to follow up with the Cloud to jump off, pick up the kill, give Dimi his first kill of the game, and give him a very small lead for that invasion of his blue buff.
I think Homiefe was trying to just stick around and keep the invade going up. You can see Baskin was able to successfully steal away the blue, but a little bit over anxious there. Uses his hammer, and Panthera recognized it, just pick him up.
And the one thing I will say about the team of Panthera, especially iRaffer, he's so good at body blocking, and in that instance there, that's what really forced Homiefe into an awkward position. No cooldowns to get away, couldn't walk through the fat man that was just stood in front of him with the big guitar. He was just like, well, I'm going to have to purify to avoid the stun and just hope.
And body blocking is really underestimated. You don't think about it too much, but it's so critical. We saw that yesterday as well. I can't recall what the play was, but in the mid lane, someone was as good as dead. I think it was DJ Pernicus. Actually saved his support, body blocks, jumps in front of someone, and he just delays, right? It's not even about taking the auto. Sometimes it's just about being there and making sure that they can't catch up.
Well, a very unfortunate situation there for Soar, I just saw on the map, is the red buff was actually taken on the left-hand side there, but Hurriwind wasn't able to get over to it in time to pick it up, so he's not going to have that red buff available on the Janus, although Doom Orb is fully stacked now, and he did pick up a kill, but look at this gank on the right-hand side. Dimi's a little bit far forward, going to get dunked, double tap, looks very, very good, but there's the Oxform to get him away. Still trying to run. Homiefe wants to give chase, has speed buff as well, but do they want to dive the tower? Well, what they did do with that was force the Neith arrow, however, to give him a little bit of support in case they dive the tower.
That's going to be a small window for Soar to try and set up a gank again. Obviously, the problem with Panthera's comp is the fact that they have that global coming out of the dual lane. The Neith World Weaver going to stun and do a massive amount of damage now. It's going to be harder for adapting to set up kills with that down.
It's also a bit harder there as Baskin gets a lot of aggression there onto him from adapting over in that solo lane as he was just just farming up as Dimi was not available. But they've got to be very careful on emiltoo here. No World Weaver available for him now, so one ultimate not available, and you could see Metyankey look for a bit of aggression because of it.
I actually like what Metyankey's doing. You saw him try and take the 1v1 with emiltoo earlier. He had his dash up. The reason that he didn't commit to it wasn't because he wasn't sure where adapting was. It's because he's only trying to force the purification.
Mid lane, adapting, going to go in on Hurriwind here. A lot of pressure on from the whole team, but the portal is good to get him out, and Yammyn changes attention now. Looking at Jigz, space and time fired from Hurriwind, but the thunder crash in. The tornado didn't hit, but Yammyn had the damage of the in-hands to secure the kill. Hurriwind tried to make a huge play,
unfortunate.
And in the end, it cost him his life.
So unfortunate. Hurriwind trying to help his team out, giving them portals, but instead walks into death. Yammyn instantly recognizes the thunder crash to Mesm and just Panthera. Their shot calling is so good. Baskin trying to steal away the speed buff, not going to be able to get close enough.
I think he was just poking more for Dimi there, but didn't really find as much as he would like to. So it was a continued boxer. No, this is what I expect out of two of the best solo layers in the world. A matchup that is a repeat, actually, of the World Championships when Baskin was on Cloud 9 when Panthera in the semifinals against him.
I think Baskin is a much better player than he was when he was on Cloud 9. That was not only the squad that taught him, but also you had the comfortability of being with a team that knows how to play at the highest level. They had Worlds 1. Now he comes on to Soar, and he has to be the teacher. And I think he's learned from that as well. He's been able to pick up more, and you can see him right now dominating Dimi in this matchup.
And there's a bit of a gold lead, as you can see on the screen there. It's not a lot, though. It's about 100 when I say a gold lead for 3 kills, which shows that Soar is at least getting the farm, rotating around, soaking experience, and trying to keep themselves up with this team. It's been a lot slower of a pace of a game compared to the rest of DreamHack.
Especially enemy versus Soar, where it was, you know, 2 teams that drafted these aggressive compositions, or Soar specifically, who drafted a very aggressive composition, a hardcore 3v3, and wanted to fight. Now with the Janus, Thor, you can be aggressive, but it's more about rotating in team fights.
Blue buff goes the way of Baskin on the right-hand side there. Dimi was looking to steal it away, wasn't able to find it. So Homiefe will pick up his speed, but look at this. Panthera starting up the Gold Fury, looking for a response. Jigz turns up, and immediately they'll just reset the situation. They don't want to force anything too much more now.
I think they were just trying to sneak that. They obviously didn't want to fight, and it's always so hard to pick up a Gold Fury against the Janus Thor. They're just going to ult on top of you.
Bit of poke there on to iRaffer. He won't be too upset about it. He's the Bacchus after all. Going for that tried, true, and tested Vanguard that he's been doing. Is his third item. It's basically a discount version of Hide the Urchin. You get it nice and early. It gives you that little bit of defense. And honestly, that window of opportunity to actually pick off a support as they're trying to get their first item online is such a big window, actually, that by getting the Vanguard, it kind of negates that situation from happening.
And he's able to pick it up pretty early, right after boots. He has that one back where normally he's just going to get a tier 1 item to work into maybe the Urchin, or you can see he's working in a magical protection now. So, like you said, it's kind of like the power spike. That's when junglers are finishing their boots, they're finishing their Jotun's Wrath, and just having that extra little bit of tankiness could save you.
We talk about power spikes, and both the Hunters working towards Soul Eater here. Not as much of a power spike as it is an attack speed increase, especially if they can find a kill. Raffer plucked into Yankee, and Raffer under a lot of pressure, intoxicates early, still going in as Raffer, and there's Yammyn to secure the kill on Jigz. Hurriwind turns up, looking to turn on Raffer again. Homie ducks down and finds it, but adapting returns the kill on Hurriwind. Good backflip of emiltoo to get away as Yammyn picks himself up a double kill, and now Metyankey is surrounded and alone. emiltoo's going to be very careful of the rotation for Baskin, who's hunted him down on the back.
Metyankey should fall here, but Baskin diving a tier 2 tower by himself. He is going to go in big baby form. Their sprint popped. emiltoo just going to outplay him completely. And now back Baskin, up. Now he's in the middle of 4 players of Panthera, and look at the weaves on the ground.
They've got to juke him out, and Baskin's going to realize to get away. Thunder crashing from Yammyn as well. Got to respect the damage from Baskin. Oh, that was close, but not close enough. Panthera eliminate 4 members of Soar all in one go, and they turn their sights to the Gold Fury.
Jigz has respawned, though. Gold Fury under half. The rotation's coming in from Soar, but it's going to be too late. Panthera 8-2 in kills, also a 3K gold lead, and that was just sloppy from Soar. All of their members playing by themselves. Hurriwind, he ults in, he tries to make a big play, killing iRaffer. Instead, Raffer's like, what are you doing? I'm Bacchus. That Vanguard, the passive protections from Chuck, as well as the shell just kept him alive. And then Hurriwind, that's twice now we've seen him do that. Then Baskin diving a tier 2 by himself. This is not the Soar team that played enemy right now.
Well, the way this game started, and look at the compositions here. You've got Thor and you've got Janus. Panthera wanted them to go aggressive. They expected this competition to be the aggressors. That's the first time they've really looked to be the aggressors in this. And when they do, they look for iRaffer, who's always the one that's like, hey guys, I'm out of position. But he's doing that on purpose because then Panthera all turn up.
I mean, that's what Panthera is so good at doing, is baiting you into players that they know are going to stay alive. Even yesterday against Eager, emiltoo spam taunted right in front of the whole Eager squad, and they dove. And then they lost the game off of that. I mean, the game was probably over anyway, but that just sealed the deal. And now it's the same thing. iRaffer gets himself, you know, air quotes, out of position, but really, the rest of the team is around him.
Same old situation from emiltoo there, challenging his ultimate just to show it at Metyankey, like, look, this is an ultimate, and I fire at you, because last time I did, adapting was there to try and go on you as well. So he's just going to be very, very aware of that, and that's why you see Jigz rotating as well, just to make sure, you know, are you okay? Is he ganking you? And he's like, no, it's just emiltoo being emiltoo.
Oh, iRaffer going to be plucked again. This could be the same story. He's taking a good amount of damage, but he might get bursted down.
Drums of war fired off by Yammyn, and iRaffer's still alive once more. Adapting turns up and cleans up the kill. Baskin is here though and did pick up the remnants that was left of iRaffer. Hurriwind body blocked away from the portal. Another kill for the jungler. Adapting. He's still amongst the pigeons in this fight as Dimi now turns up to the fight. Adapting goes in alone against 3. Dashes back out. Hot bomb on. Got his sanctuary away to avoid the damage. But Baskin wants the kill. Baskin needs the kill. And he finds the kill. And now emiltoo surrounded has to backflip away towards Yammyn, who's also slow. And the big baby's going to run them down. Pops it, sorry, drops it a little bit early here as he wants to try and secure it. But meanwhile, Dimi, well, he takes out the other hunter.
And now Baskin trying to clean up. You can see Dimi moving forward with his little decoy there, but I think the fight's going to end. Panthera once again successfully able to bait Thor into a bad spot, and it was iRaffer just putting up, he's like, hey, Jigz, pluck me, pluck me. They burn everything on him, and Hurriwind should have lived there, but once again, his positioning, the portal that you said he was body blocked from, he actually used that to get into the fight.
Right, okay, he looked like he was trying to get to it.
I think he was. I think Hurriwind's a little bit nervous here.
Well, the problem with that whole fight there was, I don't think Panthera really wanted to fight that one. iRaffer was out of position. His team were kind of around, but Dimi didn't have his teleport to get back here. They didn't want to fight that really. And actually it was Baskin that turned up first because he got over there right nice and early. He knew that fight was coming. And that ended up forcing Panthera into an awkward position. Without Dimi, they can't keep Baskin at bay. And that's what ended up turning that a little bit in Soar's favor and allowing Baskin to now get another kill on the board for himself.
Baskin's obviously doing the best for Soar. We saw this in game 1 though against Enemy, where he's turning up, he's showing up, but the rest of the team isn't. Honestly, Soar, they need their core to go off. Hurriwind, Homiefe, and Jigz need to be feeling themselves. They all need to be having good games for Soar, I think, to beat the world champions.
It's a little bit of missed abilities as well, because when they look at iRaffer, they're going all in, but they're missing a couple of easy shots on them. The double tap from Homiefe missed, which was more damage that allowed iRaffer to survive and his team to turn up in time and adapting. Well, he felt himself a little bit too much, and that's what ended up getting him life, because he did just get a double kill.
He should have been fine. He should have stayed alive, but instead going very aggressive. The team just wasn't around to support him at the time. Baskin here going to get stunned out for now, but he's fine. You can see he's already got his 4th item being worked on. Probably going to be a Pestilence there, just a little bit of magical protection. Also going to be able to reduce any healing that, say, emiltoo's going to be able to do.
And then meanwhile, the rest of Panthera are going to head towards their left-hand side jungle, just clear that one up. Speed buff is spawning for Homiefe here, so you'll see him and Jigz head over to start picking that one up as it flashes. Unless you know it's about to spawn, and there is the Cyclops, and it will fall relatively quick.
Oh man, Homiefe level 14 right now. Just hit it as well. Adapting close to 17, 4-1 and 4. The Susano, it's been pretty massive. We haven't seen him do anything too crazy. He's always just been in the fight and confusing Soar.
The thing about this game so far is, even though Soar did lose a lot of fights so far, it's 11-4 right now, and the goal lead is
pretty close.
Not that monumental. So it does allow, you know, Soar to still fight Panthera. They're not that far behind. They just have to pick their moments in these engagements, like they did on iRaffer a little bit earlier when they all focused Homiefe, and Homiefe turned it around and found the first kill of the game for Soar.
I think the biggest thing is the XP and a little bit of gold in the mid lane, right? Hurriwind 2 levels down, same with Homiefe, and you can see they just haven't finished those power spike items that, say, Yammyn and Adapting have on the opposite end. Book of Thoth is finished, starting to get stacked up. That's going to be a whole lot of damage coming out, especially once you get Obsidian Shard online.
The biggest thing I can see as an issue for Soar here is not necessarily the experience in gold, which is a small amount. It's actually where all the kills have gone to here. They've all gone on to Yammyn and Dimi and Adapting. They're the frontline carries for this team. They don't have to worry about Neith getting kills at this stage of the game. She's just there to farm and provide some CC and control for the team. It's the fact that Raijin has 4 kills and Susano has 4 kills.
And on the other side, it's once again, it's Baskin. He's been the player from Soar to rotate in at the end of these team fights. He's able to find some return kills, good damage. Honestly, he almost cleans up some fights completely. The problem is the rest of his team is already dead, so it's very hard for him to chase someone down one-on-one with Vamana, right, if the rest of the team is protecting.
Well, the master farming Baskin, level 19 already, out-farming Dimi this game so far, so good. Even though it was Panthera that got the Gold Fury, which does get you a little bit of experience, but still, he gets it, and he's still heading towards level 20, just a little bit behind his Dimi right now.
And you can see counter words coming out. Soar don't want to give up the second Gold Fury of the game. We're 19 minutes in. This feels like it's earlier in. Remember Soar versus Enemy?
Well, the thing is, we're getting bursts of activity and then relaxing time, because Gold Fury goes down, and this game, more often than not, we've seen a lot this season where, well, at least at DreamHack, where everybody wants to fight and just continue fighting. This is all about objectives, this game. It's a little bit more serious from both of them. Let's not fight till the Gold Fury's up. We're not even looking to invade speed buffs right now. It's all about Gold Furies and looking for an opportunity.
I think both teams are going to be looking for a pick, probably Panthera. I think Soar are going to be happy if no fighting happens for the next 10 minutes, but maybe I was wrong. They're going to be forcing up this Gold Fury, but they're right on top of a ward.
They are.
And here comes iRaffer.
iRaffer, the first one round the corner. He won't mind being plucked by Jigz. He'll be saying, do you want to do it one more time? Because it's not worked out. He even flops in to give the game away there. Going to belch around the corner, and Yammyn, well, he normally sounds these drums of war. Be ready for it. The Taiko drums are available with his ultimate.
Oh, Cupid dash.
Smash through the wall, and now, well, Soar have to back off a second, but Baskin now making a rotation from the solo lane is behind the team of Panthera. They'll recognize it now as he did just step on a ward, but Soar are looking to contest this. Space and time fired. emiltoo hit, and they're going to look at Baskin a little bit and a lot of pressure onto him.
Oh, trouble right now for emiltoo. He's trying to get out. Big Baby is activated. Yammyn can't get close to the fight. Typhoon going to hit 4, and there goes Met's ult as well, but somehow adapting gets out. Yammyn tanking, trying to kite through the Gold Fury. Does manage to get over the wall, but Baskin's caught and knocked up and flopped.
He got Gold Fury going him as well. The drums of war were sounding. Yammyn will get the kill. Homie dunks the backside, misses completely, and now Metyankey's alone. Metyankey's trying to run away, using his hearts to heal up. Still the autos from Yammyn.
Oh, he got the heart bomb.
Thunder crash in, and there's the bell. Still trying to follow up a Homie. Did pick up Dimi on the back, which was huge too. Metyankey body blocked again by Panthera, and 2 kills for 1 in favor of the world champions.
Panthera, though, you can see emiltoo and adapting poked out. They're not going to be able to get the Gold Fury, and really good job by Baskin there. Not able to pick up any kills that he wanted. He did fall, but he kept 3 members busy at the start of that engagement. You saw Yammyn just trapped behind the Gold Fury, couldn't get in to help his team. Same thing with emiltoo. Those are 2 of the harder carries for Panthera.
Homie just a little off the mark this game. He's landed some good ultimates, but that last one we just saw didn't find the target he was looking for, and because of that, he had to reset, wait for cooldowns one more time, wait for another window. Picked up Dimi in the end, but it could have been so much better if he could have found that ultimate on the target he was after.
And Yammyn right now, 5-0-6. I mean, he has been monstrous so far this entire tournament. I mean, he's played so well. We haven't seen his hunters come out this set yet. It is a possibility and probably something we will see later on, but I mean, he could be the best hunter on this team too.
Well, the good news right now is that the Gold Fury still stands. Soar didn't end up losing it off that engagement. It went well enough for them. The gold lead, as you can see, we're looking at around 3,000 right now in favor of Panthera. And when you split that between 5 players, it's not as much as you think.
It's nothing at all. I mean, this is a pretty dead even game heading into this one. The only worrying thing was the XP lead, but as players start to approach 20, they're not going to get any stronger after that.
That's true, but you can see level 19 there for adapting against Homiefe, who's still 16 right now. 3-level lead over the jungler of Panthera. 17 now, I should say, is adapting. Pulls in Hurriwind, forces purification and the portal away to safety. Already Hurriwind now has no purification to help him in the next engagement.
He does have his sanctuary, but he needs to be careful. Early on, his positioning was a little bit rough, and Panthera love to abuse that fact. It's going to be something that he has to just notice, because Bacchus, iRaffer, every time he sees Janus anywhere out of position, he's flopping him every time. Even if it doesn't result in a kill, it results in the purification for adapting to follow up later on.
Yankee heading back to the duo lane now. Has Chinsei's finished alongside emiltoo. Builds are identical right now, as is levels, and here's the engagement. Yankee looking for the fight. emiltoo going to stand and eat the ultimate, and now get a heart bomb too. The minions are playing a bit of a part. Body blocking there was that big brute minion, and that forced Metyankey away. Space and time fired, as just in case emiltoo was going to continue the chase, and in the end, he realized it was coming just in time.
Once again, I think Met's trying to force Purification, but the Purification was already down. Doesn't get his Sanctuary either. I like the whole idea of baiting emiltoo. The problem was the Janus and the Thor were so slow to rotate. That's something that Soar could have looked to do, but at this point in the game, unless they're doing it perfectly, they're not going to find it.
Down emiltoo in a world of hurt. He's got Sanctuary to avoid the heart bomb damage, but the autos from Homie will be enough to secure the kill. Reinforcements from Panthera arrive just a little too late to save their hunter.
This is really good for Soar right now. They have a power play. They have a man advantage. You can see Dimi, his teleport's down, so he's forced to be in the mid lane. Baskin can still make the rotation, and here he comes. And he's just going to keep people distracted right now as Soar do the Gold Fury.
Gold Fury is being done. iRaffer will be the first one here, but will he be here in time?
Oh, he already jumped
early just to get in range. Gold Fury is reset. They're looking at Jigz. Drums of war sounded. Damage is off. Typhoon fight from adapting too. But the amount of work Yammyn did with that almost was enough to kill Hurriwind. He is now going to fall down, and they're chasing through the jungle, looking for the hunter and finding it with adapting again.
And now Homie trying to get out, and he's teleported to, chased down by Susano under the tower. It's going to be adapting, trying to find him. Knocked back. Sanctuary's good for now, but here comes iRaffer. Nice short tap coming out from Homiefe. Tries ult, but it's a little bit too late. And there's the third dead for Soar. Baskin trying to return on iRaffer, but nothing he can do.
iRaffer's decision there was very smart. It looked silly for him to go back in the tower range, but he was bringing him back to his damage dealers. Baskin obviously did have his ultimate available. They were trying to force it, or maybe even pick up the kill on Baskin there. Gold Fury stands again in that crazy little engagement. When you think about it, Panthera were 4v5 in that one as well.
I'm looking at Yammyn. Honestly, every single one of these engagements, it's his ultimate. He's not hitting one person. There's 2, 3, sometimes 4 members all getting taunted out. There's so much CC.
Oh, Jigz in a lot of trouble. They put a lot of pressure onto him. He's trying to defend Baskin now.
What is he doing?
He's trying to defend the tier 1 tower, but they don't care about it, Panthera. They'll take it down. Space and time now fired, and Baskin may want to chase. Going to get out of Big Baby so he can turn on the back. emiltoo now in trouble as well. The Umbrella Rang was good, but still emiltoo will survive. And in the end, Panthera get what they came for in a tier 1 tower. But I tell you what, if Soar realize it right now, the Gold Fury is available.
Yammyn is there though, and I think they heard you right now. The ward's going to be countered in the rotation from Soar. No vision right now. iRaffer, Yammyn going to come over, try and get in on this fight. Jigz is the zone, and iRaffer jumps away. This should be an uncontested Gold Fury, unless adapting can come in. He does have ult. Yammyn does too.
Typhoon fired off. Gold Fury reset. Jigz on peel duty. Over the wall. A stable vortex from Hurriwind did hit Yammyn there, but adapted in amongst the team, not scared of him. Got Gold Fury aggro though, and inside the horse, the Sanctuary kept a lot of the damage off, and Yammyn forced to help him out, but Homiefe on the back, he could get a triple kill here if he could just find the in-hands. Not enough, however, and now he's turning and forced to run as well.
And now the portal from Hurriwind, very aggressive by himself, hitting the autos as emiltoo though, trouble for him. Dimi off the mark is the unstable vortex. Dimi should fall here, it's only a matter of time. He is slowed, and Met picks him up, but Jigz, trouble.
Oh, emiltoo will pick up the kill with a backflip, but he's against the whole world still here. Has to Sanctuary, Baskin still looking for him, and now adapting's here too. emiltoo falls, but Metyankey is on a double kill, looking for adapting who came back. That could have been a triple, but Hurriwind will take it for his team. So get 3 kills very, very quickly.
Answered back right now, only 300 gold separating the team. Yammyn's made the rotation. He fell very early, and Homiefe poked out. No one from Soar can back off here.
And one thing to note as well, Soar did get the Gold Fury in that whole fight as well. Then won the fight afterwards. So when you go to the graphs here right now, you'll see the big difference is we've got an even game. Experience is marginal advantage to Panthera. Soar are here to play.
I mean, you look at it right now, most of their players are level 20 outside of emiltoo and iRaffer, which means in the next couple minutes, Soar's just going to close that gap. And as long as the items are even, it's going to be such a close game. And a really good job by Soar there. They fought as a team. They've been having trouble doing that earlier, but in that engagement specifically, you saw certain members move forward when they were full health. When they got poked out, they backed off. Hurriwind as well, positioning himself importantly in the back line after maybe getting a little bit over-aggressive at the start.
It's true in now Panthera. Well, they're a bit on the back foot here, I'll say now, is it so? Probably feeling quite confident after how that last engagement went. They managed to pick off multiple members time after time. And Panthera, they looked like they were slowly baiting them for the people coming back from base with full health. But in the end, it didn't pay off for them. And now, Homiefe in the jungle, just continuing to work on looking around, looking for farm or looking for perks. this.
Honestly, Panthera needs some answer to Baskin right now. They have the single curse, but a little bit more anti-heal is probably going to go a long way. Brawler's beat stick on adapting will help so much because we see it. Baskin is willing to go in 1v4, and that's just because he gets so much regen. His build is incredibly tanky, he has a lot of cooldown as well, so he can escape. But if they focus him, if they get a little bit more anti-healing, they should be able to lock him down if he tries that again.
When I look at player damage right now, all I see is Baskin and Metyankey on the side of Soar that are making an impact in this lineup. Homie jumps in again, doesn't find his ultimate target he was after, which looked like iRaffer. And iRaffer, well, he's going to be fine now, but Floppy's down, and members of Soar trying to group up in mid lane, intoxicate out Hurriwind through space and time fight for damage, not actually to go for a defense, and now Jigz in trouble. Drums of war sounded by Yammyn, going to get a lot off onto him, and still he's
Yammyn
looking for Jigz. Meanwhile, Baskin trying to zone the rest of Panthera away, and doing a very good job of it.
Baskin just unstoppable in this big baby. Now his ultimate's going to be down, and he's going to be knocked up as well. You can see Dimi trying to get the slow and chase him down, but the heart's in the runaway. Baskin's going to be fine. Panthera, they have an option, though, to do something. They have poked Soar back.
It's actually even fight there, because look at the ultimates. All of the ultimates are down for everybody, other than Dimi in that at 30 minutes in. This is a completely even game still. Nobody got a win out of that whatsoever, because no jungle was invaded, no jungle even available to be taken, other than the blue that Baskin is going to still receive.
And Fire Giant, you saw it pinged out 30 minutes in. I mean, Gold Fury still means a little bit, but most players starting to reach full build. I don't think any team is going to want to risk doing that at the cost of this game. And now the warding has started. Homiefe going to make sure to get vision right now. And honestly, I kind of like Soar counter-engaging over engaging in most of these fights. They have the Thor ultimate. They have the Janus ultimate as well. Situations where they don't have to burn those to get into a fight are going to be so beneficial.
And I think that's what they've realized finally after this game, because the first engagement in the game was them initiating, yes, and then they got turned on. After a while, they realized, well, eventually Panthera are going to have to do something if they want to, and then we can go in instead with these globals available to them. We've got fantastic peel available too, unless Jigz takes a lot of poke, but in mid lane, Homiefe finally went out of space and time, connected with Sanctuary, keeps him up, Homie to the sky, looking for Yammyn, gonna dunk in and look for that mid laner who's still not dead. Round the back of the poorly goes as Baskin shuts down Yammyn, and this is a great fight for the North Americans.
Dimi lands on two, though, trying to do some damage here. Heart Bomb's going to be good in the back line. Baskin, Robbins, and Homiefe just chasing down Panthera. Dimi's going to run in. Baskin's going to ult. He should be fine, stomping away. Tier 1 has fallen. Tier 2 getting a rest on. And Homiefe, two-man double tap into the Berserker's barrage.
We said coming into this game it's going to be a battle of the junglers, at least from my point of view. And giving Homiefe Thor is just a risk not worth taking. And now he's finally starting to land these ultimates. The amount of damage he got off as well in that Berserker barrage was insane.
Dimi teleported behind. Panthera want to take this fight based on that. You can see Baskin has teleported as well. Homiefe is doing blue buff, and I think he's going to spot it out, but iRaffer plucked out.
Unfortunately enough, though, the Cupid Heart Bomb did not connect with him. Unstable Vortex did, however, and iRaffer has to flop away. Metyankey giving chase. One more in-hand will be enough if he can find it. No, he's got it. Second one does, and iRaffer goes down two. Now Dimi on the back against 5 members of Soar. Has to juke through them all. Heart Bomb on him as well. It is a stun, and the double tap will confirm it from Homie. Hurriwind under pressure from adapting. emiltoo will secure the kill, and now Homie dunks the backside looking for adapting, and adapting will fall as well.
Yammyn gonna all try and find two, and he does. Trying to chase down Homiefe, no mana, and now Baskin on the escape, but he's gonna get mezzed out. Big Baby's back online, stop it away. Yammyn can't do anything about it. Two more autos, the body blocks are good. Baskin cancels his all, armored umbrella secures it. A knock up onto one, Heart Bomb's gonna be good. Baskin.
Baskin
heal
sets up Soar, and the emiltoo will survive off that one, but it's still all good things for Soar. Just look at the graphs. Let's go to them, and you'll see the massive advantage that Soar now have. It's gone so far in their favor over and over again.
I mean, I think it was 60,000 gold. These teams were dead even, but it's just been Soar snowballing these fights. I think it was 7 to 19 in kills just 5 minutes ago. Every fight, every engagement has gone Soar's way since then.
There was a 3,000 gold lead for Panthera. It's now an 8,000 gold lead for Soar here. That's what we can see on the screen right now.
And now, I mean, just look at this. Baskin on this Vamana, 24,000 player damage, highest in the game. He sat there since the beginning. He hasn't dropped it just yet. Adapting and emiltoo doing their best to chase up. You just see Baskin.
I'm calling Homiefe. Baskin's been doing his job as per usual, but Homiefe, he's finally started finding his ability damage. He's finally started hitting the targets he needed to and finding the kills that they want overall. It's very, very important for them overall to actually manage to do that. Homie, on this left-hand side, gonna head towards the Gold Fury right now and just look for some pressure over here as well. Got to look for a gank potentially. Nope, just going to farm up a little bit more of that wave that was there. So Soar have an opportunity right now just to relax and wait for the next engagement. Gold Fury is almost going to be available very, very soon at the moment. Actually going to be pulled, I should say, from Metyankey, who's looking to try and pick this one up at the moment.
And now Gold Fury started up here. This should be uncontested. You can see on the right-hand side, most of Panthera grouped up, and it's gonna be free. So right now, Soar at a really good spot to close out this game here, but Panthera at full build. It's going to be a battle at the Fire Giant.
Battle at the Fire Giant, indeed. And both teams just setting up around at the moment. It has been pulled for a second here by Panthera, but are they actually looking for, actually trying to steal this one away? Well, it looks like they are. Panthera going to look for the big engagement potentially, but as you can see, Baskin is there, and Baskin starts to beat down, but they're looking for Hurriwind on the back at the same time. Hurriwind under a lot of pressure. Then the Typhoon goes out, adapting, gets the kill, and they're still looking for another one. Yammyn actually credits the kill for Baskin, who didn't actually manage to do anything in that in the end. He does fall down too. Fire Giant now being looked at once again by Panthera.
You can see Homiefe split pushing in the mid lane, just trying to get a Phoenix while this is going on. And now you can see, can they get it? It looks like it's going to go uncontested. Jigz just around the corner.
While this is all going on though, look at what Soar's doing. They're choosing the other option. And it looks like Panthera are going to have to give up the middle Phoenix for this. Panthera get the Fire Giant, and Jigz will go down for this unless he can get away from the danger. Meanwhile, iRaffer is waiting at the back. And iRaffer is trying to get with Adapting and pick up Metyankey. They find one. They're looking for Homie, who's the double tap, who's trying to kill Adapting. And Adapting has to leave because of minion pressure too. Meanwhile, the team of Panthera are now pushing the tier 2 in mid. And iRaffer, I guarantee you, will not let Thor alone. He'll keep chasing and chasing while his team look for the Phoenix in mid.
Homiefe is going to be able to get out of this eventually. You can see the belly flop on iRaffer. He's got no cooldown reduction, but he's just wasting so much time. Homie's not going to be able to get and defend his team. There he is. The pings are out, but the middle Phoenix is already down.
This game is so good right now between these two. Back and forth, Fire Giant to Panthera. Middle Phoenix is now trading out. And now with the Fire Giant online on all 5 members, don't forget, that's going to make a big impact as well.
The biggest thing, though, is right now, most of Soar are full build. You can see Hurriwind needs a little bit more gold to finish his Soul Reaver, but the Hunter's full build, Baskin's been full build, Homiefe has all his items as well. This is just going to be a bloodbath, honestly. There's no way that Panthera can just walk in and win for free. They have to play the team fights perfectly.
5 members in this game, over 20,000 player damage for them of 35 minutes in. Baskin leading the way, followed closely by Adapting, emiltoo, and Yammyn. Finally rounded that off with that top 5. You can see Metyankey's on that list too.
The biggest thing for me right now is Hurriwind only 15,000 damage on Janus, and it's not like he's gone into this utility build.
He's not been using his ultimate utility. He's not been using his portals as utilitarian as we have seen before.
We've seen a lot of missed unstable vortexes, and this could be trouble for Soar moving forward. Not only this game, but the rest of this set. Hurriwind has not been playing at the level he played at during the SPL, and he's going to have to turn up. All you really need is one game. Homie in trouble.
That burst from Yammyn was huge, and now Homie can't get away from it. emiltoo credit for the kill. 4v5, 60-second respawn timer. This is 2 towers.
This is 2 towers for sure. You can see Hurriwind has given up the defense. He's going to be split pushing, just making sure to have pressure in that middle wave. There are fire minions pushing up on the side of Panthera as well, so getting that extra farm to finish off his Soul Reaver before the final stand.
And now Yammyn has to Hurriwind has to back to base right now. Get ready to defend against the 3 Swedes, a German, and the Brit that are looking for a second Phoenix.
Being poked away right now. Hurriwind around the side, just trying to get a good angle. And it looks like Soar, they're going to concede the first Phoenix on the left-hand side here. Only 1 Phoenix remains, but there is a tier 2 tower as well. Panthera, they've got Fire Giant for about 1 minute and 25 seconds left. Are they going to keep pushing? And it seems they will.
And it ended up working out quite well for them, that Fire Giant decision. They had to choose between defending their middle Phoenix or going for the Fire Giant. And finding those picks just before that meant that they had to go for that call. Soar did a very similar strategy by going for that Phoenix that Panthera would have done themselves in the same situation. We saw about them do it in the regular season, and Soar, very, very similar, went for the same option. I like the call from Soar there. They didn't have any other options to do anything else, but in the end, Panthera now get control of the game based off the Fire Giant.
The biggest thing is that they also have taken the Phoenix in mid, so they don't really have to worry about that pressure too much. It's one thing if there's 2 fire minions running into your base, but only 1, it's not the worst. They're going to be able to look up and probably defend this Fire Giant on the next spawn, but actually, they're trying to bait someone.
Well, the hope is someone rotates around here, and I think that's all there is to do right now. The Fire Giant's about to wear off Panthera, and this is the window of the game where one team fight that goes badly will end the game completely. Even though Soar are behind here, take into account that one fight, 60-second respawn timers, and it could be GG very quickly.
And you've seen Yammyn knows that as well. The cameraman highlighting the fact that he's picked up Mantle of Discord, really worried about getting bursted.
Well, look at the targets he's against. He's going to have Vamana in his face the whole time. He's going to have Thor in his face the whole time. And if Jigz is around trying to tail whip him, stop him, disrupting, getting away, he can also stun him with the item as well. Very, very key to survivability on this mid laner.
I mean, the biggest thing, though, is that it's not really going to stop Baskin as long as he has Colossal Fury. He can go up into his ultimate and just chase him down.
I agree, but what Baskin has been doing is cancelling it early to be able to use his abilities. And when he does that, that's the opportunity Yammyn can get that Mantle of Discord off.
Baskin's going to have to pay attention to that. You can see iRaffer belly flopping into the tier 2 tower by himself with no minions, just trying to get in the head of Soar. I mean, that's what Panthera do.
I think that was more Raffer going, come on, let's just get the tier 2. And they're like, no, let's just push mid. The Phoenix is about to respawn. And Raffer's like, all right, okay, we'll go mid. So he's going to wander there, chuck down, get some extra protections from that ability, make sure his actual other abilities increase the amount of things they can do.
I like what Panthera is doing here. They're going to focus on this middle Phoenix because it's already respawned, and it's not going to be healthy. And look at this, adapting around the corner. Hurriwind has no idea. Hurriwind has no idea.
In your back, Hurriwind, watch out. Threshold did hit him just to get him away with a bit of mobility, but Hurriwind took a bit of free poke, and now he's going to watch that angle on the left because adapting will come around the back again, and look at him. I thought he was going to swing in one more time.
He wants to.
From Metyankey, but
Hurriwind still doesn't know. Oh, and he gets knocked up, and there's Dimi as well. Sanctuary's good, trying to escape. Feels the love to save him, but it doesn't matter. Adapting finds first blood in this engagement. Baskin in the back line, stomping on Thor, but Panthera have already turned their attention to him.
They're looking for the Phoenix, though, as well as Baskin has to walk away in Big Baby from the front line. He's all decimated there, Soar, with the second Phoenix falling. That just allows Panthera to walk over to the tier 2 tower on the right side if they want it. Instead, they're going to do the wise idea, head back to base, ready for the Fire Giant.
Hurriwind has not had a good tournament so far. Right there, you saw, I mean, Adapting gave away what he was doing, and Hurriwind managed to escape. He noticed it, he was able to get out in time. The hearts come out, so he's able to heal up, and then he just walks up, doesn't even look to the left. He's so concerned about what's in front of him, and that's a great job by Adapting. LAN is a different beast. It's not online, it's not SPL. Hurriwind is a phenomenal player, but it's getting to him right now.
Fair, was it Hurriwind though? But because the backline should be actually protecting the angle for him to be able to be safe there. Once he gets hit the first time,
what backline?
Defend that option.
Right, Jigz maybe, but I mean, he's got to look in the front there. Baskin's the one who dives the 4. You have to pay attention if you're a carry. Obviously, the team did a really good job of looking to peel for him at the end, but you got to position yourself well enough to begin with.
The second Fire Giant does go the way of Panthera. We caught it on the screen there. As now they're all swinging right-hand side, and clearly Soar did not feel comfortable trying to engage there. They want to try and defend at the final Phoenix that is remaining. The left one, though, is about to respawn, as you see on your screens. But I'll tell you what, the final tower will definitely fall in a moment.
And now, Fire Giant here. It's been completed. So, Panthera up 25-15 in kills. This is a 40-minute game, and they're going to be sieging the final Phoenix. Left has respawned, so they do have that advantage, and they could look to wait. But right now, Hurriwind is stuck on the left-hand side, still dealing with the last wave of fire minions. This is an option that Panthera could look to force.
3 members showing themselves middle, still pressuring the right side. At the same time here is Panthera. They're looking for an opportunity to find a potential pick. Hurriwind just went to the left side to clear the minions, and that looks like Panthera want to go there too. They saw the portal as well. Raffer, emiltoo fires the World Weaver, forcing purification now. Once again, Hurriwind on the back foot there, and immediately Jigz looking for some aggression, instead getting engaged in himself. Going to force the ultimate out of Metyankey and the ultimate out of Hurriwind as well. Raffer takes a lot of poke as Homie crashes the back and finds emiltoo, but the burst from Yammyn is good. He did so much destruction, and now he's only Baskin against the world here as the rest of his team are trying to rush back to the fountain, and most of them, they're not going to make it.
That can't stay alive either, and the Phoenix falls once again. Titan under attack, but it looks like Panthera, they're calling it off. They were only able to pick up Metyankey, and they lost emiltoo in return. Great job by Homiefe there. Along with, like, Homiefe and Baskin, their combo in the backline has been so devastating. Panthera's had so much trouble trying to control them. They've never been able to keep someone alive if those two want them dead.
Actually, really respectful for Panthera there as well to back up after getting that Phoenix. They could have pushed on with the Fire Giant. They still had 4 members available as well.
It's risk.
But they didn't get enough of them at the fountain too. And the way Homiefe managed to engage with Baskin there was absolutely beautiful. They eliminated emiltoo before he could even use a relic.
Wow, it's just 100-0 burst damage. I'm assuming Baskin just drove to the back and then Homiefe from the sky hits them. Red buff here being invaded, so red buff actually very important late game, actually more powerful than the Fire Giant, so you do want to see Hurriwind make sure to pick up one if he can.
Well, at the moment, Soar are actually making Panthera bleed and showing that they are actually actually human in this game. Even though they are up against it still in this one, with 2 Phoenixes being down, they still have a window here. Like I keep saying, if one team...
Hurriwind's not near a wall.
Over. Purification fight, Will Weaver eaten by Jigz, but in this guy's Homiefe trying to get out of the engagement and swing to mid, but it looks like Hurriwind could be dead. You could use the portal through the wall, but good.
Oh,
Jigz.
What
nice
a beautiful
move.
backstep. Also gonna get knocked up. Just the second he saw Bacchus come in, just stops, takes a slight backstep, and then dashes away at a different angle. Really well played. If he gets knocked up there, that could be Panthera finding the pick and then forcing the numbers advantage.
But they did get the Sanctuary off Hurriwind there and the ultimate out of Homiefe, and we saw what Homiefe did last time on defense to be able to hold on for Soar. Well, this time not available, and the Phoenix in mid spawns, the Phoenix in mid falls.
Right-hand side, Phoenix hasn't fallen just yet. Homiefe forced to hammer away as adapting and iRaffer trying to combine for the kill. And now it looks like Panthera are finally going to look to siege. Fire Giant for another 40 seconds. If they're going to make a move, they have to do it now. They want to keep the regen up. They do need to be careful, though. If they get wiped, Soar can just walk into their mid lane and win.
Just be careful of Yammyn. Yammyn needs to be protected here, because if he gets his ultimate off, it will rain havoc on this enemy team. And there's Raffer going in. Yammyn did get focused there, hit by the through space and time. Has to Thunder Crash away. Baskin giving chases, adapting, eats the backline here. Looks for the mage, finds the mage, and now dueling with the hunter. Dimi takes out Baskin as 2 are trying to deal with adapting in the back of their base. Meanwhile, right-hand side, the Phoenix falls, and Panthera heading down for the Titan. They get Metyankey. They turn to Homiefe. Homiefe should be the next one to fall too. Panthera, the world champions, looking to take an end game 1 of the DreamHack Masters Finals.
Absolutely perfect play from adapting in that last fight. It's going to allow Panthera to finally clean up. It was long and hard fought from Soar, but game 1 doesn't go their way. And adapting, once again, in that final engagement, not only does he find Hurriwind alone, away from walls, but he also forces Jigz and Homie to protect him. They not only can't do it, but also you saw him still get away somehow.
I said at the end of the game, though, but Soar showed that Panthera can bleed. They bled them.
Yes, that was a close game.
Points of that game, just like Eager did to an extent in that game 2 we saw yesterday. This time around, though, they showed a lot of conviction to come back from the deficit they put themselves in after the beginning.
I think if Hurriwind has just a little bit better of a game, and he got focused, to be fair, it's not easy when you have Panthera all chasing you down every single engagement. It's got to be someone dedicated on the team to protecting him. The problem was that Jigz, Homiefe, and Baskin were all diving the front line. And Jigz, he did try and help peel along with Metyankey, but it just wasn't enough sometimes.
Now you called it. When you look at the graphs there, you can see that it was Hurriwind that was low on the damage end compared to his opposition. Obviously, adapted on Susano, expected to do more damage, but has a little bit less control in these engagements than Homiefe's Thor.
And just really well played overall. I mean, Panthera, the whole idea was kind of just survive Baskin's ultimate timer. He would just dive the backline, do a massive amount of damage, good amount of poke. Homiefe would come down with him. Generally, they would find a kill in the fights. And Yammyn, all he was just trying to do was reset, disengage, and then look to re-engage once the big baby had ended. And after that, Soar couldn't really fight without Baskin.
So the thing was, is picks and bans. We saw Thor first pick coming out from Soar here, and then we looked towards what Panthera did, and they knew what was going to happen. They knew Thor was coming out, and they answered back with Susano.
And I don't know if Susano is going to be worth the ban. It was definitely impactful.
Yes, he is.
The problem for me, though, it wasn't Susano playing so well or Susano being so strong. It was more Hurriwind's positioning. He was away from walls, as Janus is so much. Even when he got ulted by emiltoo on the left-hand side, not only was his Sanctuary early, but Jigz also had body block.
Look at this. This is 10 minutes in, and Soar were controlling this game. 10 minutes, they had jungle control. 15 minutes, they had overall jungle control. This was actually Soar's favor. Even though the kills were going in Panthera's way, Soar were doing a better job farming overall in this whole engagement.
And I think here you're going to see the Fire Giants and Towers start to swing. Towers not falling for quite some time. Then they started trading out equally, but it was just the Fire Giants and the fights from there that pushed Panthera over the edge.
And there's the lead at the end of the game for Panthera. 55-45 overall. I don't think a lot of people expected this coming in. Everyone expected a very quick whitewash potentially coming out in favor of the European champions. But right now, Soar, they actually do look good.
Yeah, I think everyone gave the edge to Panthera. You can't say that they're not going to have the odds to beat Soar.
After the Eager set as well, we saw how close Eager were against enemy and against Soar in the regular season. You expected this to be a bit different, but it's not. Soar have stepped up and Soar are ready to play.
Yammyn.
And Yammyn, though, well, Yammyn's Yammyn.
I mean, he hit so many players with his ultimate every single fight. The taunts were so good, and iRaffer baited himself. I don't know if that one was a bait per se, but what happens is kind of what happened against Enemy, where Jigz will go aggressive on the Sobek, find the pluck, but then there's his escape. Right after, he doesn't have the purification online because he went sprint and into curse, and Yammyn just chain CCs him.
I just don't know what you do against adapting. Because
I mean, what do you do against Yammyn?
Well, you take the Thor away from him, you ban out Wukong, and he's like, all right, Susano. And you take Susano away, he's going to go, all right, Fenrir. And you take that away, they'll go, all right, Najjar. If you take that away, he'll go, all right, Rafa, you're going Sobek, and I'm going to Wheelix.
What's the least annoying thing? That's the question.
The least annoying thing, Thanatos.
I don't think he's going to play Thanatos.
He's played it before.
He has played it before.
He has played it before. Yammyn on your screen there. He won MVP at the World Championships. And
Deservedly.
honestly, that game there, he seems to be a finals boy, to be honest. When he gets to finals, he just steps up even another notch more than he usually does.
That's what I love about Panthera is that you see them during the spring split, and they have a phenomenal record, right? They only drop a couple of games, but they come to LAN, and then they just somehow get even better.
Well, the thing with Panthera, and I've always said this, is that they're like a manual car. They sat in second gear and just sit in second gear all season. Now and again, against some of the tougher teams in Europe, they'll step into third gear. But other than that, they won't go into that fourth and fifth that's available to them, apart from when they meet North America. And then I've seen them, you know, really push it up. Cloud9 at Worlds, an example. And right now against Eager and Soar,
I think they have
they're
to.
at least in fourth.
And